It started with a knock. Not on the door. Beneath the bed. 3 soft taps, like knuckles against hollow wood. I remember the sound precisely dry, deliberate, close. I froze. It was just after 3 a.m., and I'd been lying awake, not quite asleep, not quite alert, when the sound rose up from underneath me. I live alone. No pets, no roommates. The floor creaks when I walk across it, but it's solid. Old hardwood, thick and uneven. No basement. Just support beams, some insulation, and crawl space barely tall enough for a raccoon. I didn't move. Not that first night. The knocking didn't return. But the next morning, the floor felt warm. Just beneath the bed. A perfect circular patch of heat, no bigger than a dinner plate. I put my hand on it, and it was like pressing against a body soft, radiant. But there was no bulge, no damage. Just warmth where there should have been cold air and dust. I told myself the heating pipes were misaligned. That night, the knocking came back. This time it moved. 3 knocks, then a pause. Then again, 2 feet to the right. Then again, like something tapping its way slowly across the underside of the floor, learning the shape of the room, of me. I moved the bed, slept on the couch. The tapping followed. Always beneath me, always in 3s. I started placing things on the floor coins, pencils, pieces of cereal, traps for motion. In the morning, they'd shifted slightly. Never far, just nudged, enough to be noticed. Enough to say yes, I was here. After a week, I pried up one of the floorboards. Nothing underneath. Just the darkness of the crawl space and stale, unmoving air. No sign of rodents, no nesting, no leaks. But the space smelled wrong, like soil left too long in the dark. Wet metal, and something sweeter behind wallpaper. Memory turned physical. I set up a motion sensor. No alerts. Until I checked the logs. Every night at 3:17 a.m. Exactly. 1 trigger, low to the ground. Center of the room. A pulse of something moving just beneath the sensor's threshold. Too smooth to be animal. Too steady to be structural. I stopped sleeping. And when I did sleep, I dreamed of hollow places. Long tunnels filled with burlap skin and hands too flat. A mouth sewn shut not to silence it, but to keep something inside. Then I started hearing breathing. Not loud. Not human. A faint, rhythmic pull of air from beneath the floorboards, in time with my own. Like lungs, buried an inch deep, learning to match their host. When I held my breath, it paused too. Listening. Waiting. I told myself it wasn't real. Then I started waking up with splinters in my feet. I hadn't left the bed. I hadn't moved. But there they were, thin shards of aged wood lodged in the soles, as if I'd been walking under the floor in my sleep. I set up a camera in my room. The next morning, the footage was corrupted. Glitches. Color smears. A minute of static at exactly 3:17 a.m. And when the image returned, the bed was empty. Then, a slow movement in the corner of the frame floorboards rising, just slightly, breathing, swelling upward like lungs below the house. I checked the bed. Sheets twisted, dust disturbed, and a handprint on the inside of the lifted board. 5 fingers. Too long. Burnt into the grain like something hot had pressed up from underneath. I left the house for 2 nights. Slept in a hotel. No knocking. No dreams. But when I returned, the floor felt soft beneath my steps. And there were carving-stony, ragged letters etched into the wood beneath the bed. No language I recognized. Just jagged loops, repeating over and over in a spiral. Let me out. Let me out. Let me out. Last night, I dreamed I was under the floorboards. Not crawling. Pressed. Wedged between beams, blind in the dark, arms pinned at my sides. I couldn't move, but I could see through slats in the floor above into my own bedroom, my own sleeping body, and I was smiling. I think I'm not alone anymore. Something lives beneath my floorboards, and it's learning how to replace me. The floorboards don't creak anymore. That's the first thing I noticed. Not when I walked when it moved. I used to hear it pacing under me. That slow drag of pressure against the joists. The soft give of ancient wood bending around something too thin, too long. But now it moves in total silence. Not because it wants to hide, but because it's ready. It no longer has to tap to be noticed. It doesn't ask for permission. Last night, I woke up with dust in my mouth. Fine. Gray powder packed between my teeth, clinging to the back of my throat. I coughed for minutes, spitting it out onto my pillow, my sheets. It wasn't like attic dust. This was cold, damp, thick like skin flakes mixed with soil. And in the center of it, something small and sharp. A tooth. Not mine. Too narrow. Slightly curved. The root was still wet. I threw it into the sink. But this morning, I found it on my nightstand, wrapped in a strip of fabric. From the shirt I was wearing, I don't remember taking it off. I don't remember most nights now. My memories become porous, leaking hours, sometimes whole evenings. I've started marking my arms with a pen every hour to keep track. A small black dot, line them up in a row. But I'll wake up and find them gone, not scrubbed away. Just gone, like the skin was replaced, like that version of me peeled off in the night. The floor is softer now. It pulses sometimes. Subtle, but real, especially at night. The wood rises and falls like it's breathing, shallow and slow. The heat underneath isn't heat anymore. It's something else. More like a heartbeat, deep and steady. Sometimes it syncs with mine. Other times, it leads. I've started hearing it speak. Not out loud, never out loud. The words form in the space between thoughts, a vibration in the bones of my skull. No sentences, no voice. Just instructions, like muscle memory for movements I haven't made yet. Closer. Empty the bed. Lie flat. We remember your shape. I stopped locking my doors. It felt pointless. Every morning, the deadbolt was unlatched anyway. No signs of a break-in. The floorboards in the hallway creak on their own now. Not beneath weight, beneath intent. I sit in the dark and listen to something long and slow, stepping from room to room without feet. One night, I found footprints on the ceiling. Thin, symmetrical, toes too long, bare. The right one dragged slightly, like whoever left them was getting used to the body. I painted over them. They came back. So, I hear someone humming when I sleep. Sometimes it's coming from under the floor, low and tuneless. Sometimes it's from my closet. And once only one seat came from me. I caught myself in the mirror, swaying gently, eyes unfocused, mouth forming the same phrase over and over. Beneath, beneath, I wait to breathe. I don't remember how long I stood there. There's something under the house, not living, not dead, something that remembers being human or has worn enough human skin to fake it well. It's trying to wear me next. And I think I'm starting to agree. The boards near my bed are loose again. I keep nailing them down, but they pry themselves back up. I don't hear it happen. It's always after I sleep. And beneath them, I found a hollow I don't remember making. It's shaped like me. Exactly like me. Spine curve, shoulder width, head tilt, it's all there. Pressed into the dirt, rimmed with ash. Like I've lain down there 1,000 times before. Like it's been expecting me. I lie awake and feel the warmth rise through the floor. Not heat body temperature. Not mine. It strokes the soles of my feet through the mattress. It brushes the edges of my breath. And sometimes it whispers from inside my head with a voice that sounds a little closer to mine every time. Last night, I woke up in the crawl space, covered in soil, nails in my mouth, floorboards sealed above me, and for a full second, just 1 second, I wasn't scared. I felt held. Home. Like I belonged underneath. And when I clawed my way back out and pushed open the boards, the house was exactly as I'd left it. Except for the mirror, my reflection was already standing, smiling, and tapping the floor in threes.